Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Meoni here of AceGamesTV, and I'm back in the Star Citizen hangar. Oh yeah, so we've had a couple of patches. I didn't do a video last patch because it was pretty small, but what there was in that last patch was client-side persistence, which is a big thing for this patch and upcoming patches to the Star Citizen world, as well as the hangar module itself, which allows for basically players to put something in a place and it to stay there. So that's not currently in, but first of all I'm going to show you some changes in the patch to the Constellation. This is my bad boy, this is the Evermore. I've decided on a name. I love Secret of Evermore, so that's pretty much what I went with there. So as you can see, the ship is a lot smoother. Fraps is running a lot better. There's a lot of optimization changes. This is something I didn't show last time, but I discovered. You can actually sit down at the table now. I think this was maybe 2 patches ago, and I've only just discovered that. Obviously, everything's placeholder at the minute. This doesn't represent the final version of the game or anything like that. This is very much pre-alpha, if you're unfamiliar with Star Citizen. So I've got lots of other videos if you are unfamiliar with them, or you could go to the Robert Space Industries website for more info. There's a bit of a artifacting issue there with a few graphical glitches. One thing I've noticed is my P-52 mail-in is no longer in my hangar bay, which I presume is a known issue. It said so on the patch loader thing, so I presume they'll put that back in, probably making some changes to it. Over here they've made it so you can actually get into the beds now, which is pretty damn awesome. You couldn't do this previously. There's a bit of clipping here and there. Everything isn't final. The camera work, UI, anything. And I can have a look. I can sleep here and stare at that, what appears to be Ayers Rock, or a canyon. Wow, you know, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of having a screen that you can mess around with whilst you're in flight and just go for a bit of a sleep. That's quite a cool thing. And they've not really changed anything with the toilet, so there's not really much point showing that. But like I say, look at how smooth this is compared to my previous videos. I'm using 2 Radeon 6950s, which are, you know, old cards pretty much. But I've used them in SLI, and everything is running so much faster. It's a lot better. So the whole meat and potatoes of this patch was sort of a consolation prize for not having the dogfighting module. So that's right, we're not having the dogfighting module until at least sometime after the new year now, which isn't a problem. The live stream, if you haven't seen it, go over to the Twitch channel. It's Twitch. Robert Space Industries, and you can watch the previous stream if you missed it. But they did a Christmas special which is about 2 hours long, and in that, towards the end, they had about 30 to 40 minutes of basically them playing around in the studios in multiplayer, having a bit of a dogfight, which was pretty damn awesome. And Chris has got some real shooting skills, that's for sure, apart from he gets obliterated by his German friend there, who's one of the designers on the team. Definitely worth a look. Go and check that out. As you can see, the interface is basically a holotable. You take the weapons off whatever ships you own in the hangar module. So if you've pledged to have an aura, you will have the bearing machine gun laser gun thing. As you can see, this is the M4A laser cannon off of the Constellation. So most of the guns work, not all of them are in at launch, so don't despair if there's nothing on the list. It's simply because they're not in at the moment. There's no sounds or real projectile animations or anything like that in, so we've got the familiar sort of thud, but no laser pew-pew sounds. They're all coming later. Apparently they've developed them, they just haven't hooked them up to the animations yet, which is fine. Like I say, this is a bit of a consolation prize, and I didn't think we were going to get this. But you can go and shoot some guns. The other hangars that are available, the business hangar and the starting hangar, this is of course the deluxe hangar, have different layouts. This will eventually be probably in a separate room. As you can see, if I shoot anything other than targets, there's a bit of artifacting because there's no projectile animations or actual textures for that. It's just a white blob that you fire, basically. But it's nice to see in its basic state that things are progressing. They have base animations and base things set up, and there's a lot of stuff that we are not seeing that is actually working behind the scenes. Now, there's a good post on Reddit, I might link that in the description. There's a guy who goes through all of the patch notes every time, and talks about basically all of the under the hood changes. I think it's actually called Under the Hood, the post. It's definitely worth a look if you're into Star Citizen. Why else would you probably be watching this video unless you were, and unless you know, maybe you don't have access to it. But all of the information is pretty good on that thread. So I'm going to put on the Bulldog repeater. This is probably more familiar to a lot of you that don't have expensive ships. This is off the Aurora. You get, I think it's 4 of these attached. It's basically a light repeater machine gun laser cannon. It's pretty good, actually. Obviously, the targeting reticle and all of the UI is, you know, obviously, need I say it any longer, placeholder and a work in massive progress. They've got a really cool guy on board to do the HUD elements and the UI elements. He's going to be basically doing, you know, in the cockpit when you're flying, and maybe you've seen on the Hornet commercial they put out. The guy actually worked on Iron Man. If you remember in Iron Man 2 and 3, there was a pretty amazing and rather substantial looking, well, very cool, flashy, colourful set of lights on a hood inside Tony Stark's helmet. And essentially that guy who made that stuff is actually working on Star Citizen now, so you can expect that sort of cool reticle targeting stuff. So they've added some features to the actual hangar. I don't know how this is different in the other hangars, but there's actually a sound effect as you go up in the elevator now, and the elevator automatically recognizes you're there without having to press F to actually load into it. So we've got automatic doors. As you can see here, they go like in Star Trek. It's pretty damn awesome. There's actually a panel next to each door as well, which means you can call the elevator. So if you come up one elevator like I just did there, and you want to go down the other one, which I will show you very shortly, when I've run down these very Red Dwarf-esque corridors. They're red. I really do love this hangar. I want a ship with this interior. So as you can see, I can't go in there. I can call the elevator. Pretty nifty, huh? I don't think I can see if it's coming up. Probably no, I can't see. The pillars in the way. As you can see, there's the elevator. Woo, it works. Cool. So hangar interactions are a big part of, you know, how the stuff behind the scenes works. You want things like that to work. It's all part of building the structure of this game, basically. So, like I say, there's some really cool changes. Like, for example, they put this in. This is a demonstration of how boxes and containers will work. So as you can see, that's a gear container. You can't do anything with it at the moment, but it's a kind of a preview of what they're going for. Everything is going to be animated in meticulous detail. Like the switch turns there, and then the whole thing goes... And that was my interpretation there. But yeah, that's pretty much the Hangar Patch. They also added, you know, with the client-side persistence, they're starting to add things that you can buy for UEC, which is the in-game currency. You can actually exchange real money for it currently, but you won't be able to in the actual game, as far as I can tell, or at least not a lot anyway, per month. But I bought a crab with it. They gave us all, if you have Star Citizen, they gave us all 1,000 UEC. So that's enough to actually buy one creature for your fish tank. There was jellyfish and all that sort of stuff, but I chose to buy this sort of crayfish, sort of crab thing. He's pretty cute and sat there in the distance, whilst I've got the Midas fish there floating around, which is pretty damn cool. So yeah, that's the patch. I thought I'd put this video out when there was actually some content, and that's quite a lot of content. If you do have an interest in Star Citizen, or you even have the Hangar module, go download the patch. It's quite large. I think it's about 400 megabytes or something. It's actually not that big, but it's a huge sort of mechanical change, and I'm really liking the hardware changes that allow me to perhaps better recordings for you guys. So as always, I'm going to keep up to date on this game all the way through the alpha, beta, and on to release in 2015. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. My name has been Meoni. Check out my other videos on AceGamesTV. Subscribe today, and I will see you next time.
Mr. Crabbington III is most displeased with his ending. I will do it then. Merry Christmas to all my viewers. I will see you in the new year. Fare thee well. Blah, 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 blah.